This is a stock analysis update for Frontier Developments. Please remember that I only do these videos for fun as a hobby, and you should always seek professional help from a qualified financial advisor before investing in any risky stocks. I invested in Frontier Developments back in March of 2020, and then last year I sold 75% of my position. I've done a number of videos on Frontier Developments, so if you're interested in the stock, I go into loads of detail if you go and take a look there. This, however, is just going to be an update video focusing on their sales and revenues. In particular, we now have better data on the Jurassic World Evolution 2 release and on the Formula One Manager 22 game, which is only just released. The Jurassic World Evolution 2 game, I think, was a slightly weak result, but still not that much worse than expected in my original plans. Whilst the Formula One Manager game, I think, has been really successful for them based on the current player numbers. Historically, they used to release how many units they'd sold fairly frequently, and you can see this in the grey boxes here. And this was the case right up to the Elite Dangerous debacle of 2021. Then ever since then, they started becoming rather coy about announcing their unit sales. However, they did announce unit sales of 1.3 million for Jurassic World Evolution 2. However, everything else I've had to model based on the well-established previous trends, where you see that their games sell a lot initially and then baseline. I've actually improved on before by taking account of discounting that they apply to their unit prices when then calculating how much I think they've made per game in a particular quarter. I've used this website here, and you can see that for any game, in this case it's Planet Zoo, they actually apply quite significant discounts, particularly over Christmas and New Year. So I've modeled that as best as I can now in my data. So here you see it broken up in interim by interim, and in blue here I've got the Elite Dangerous data. Then here the Planet Coaster. In green we've got Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Evolution 2. In brown, Planet Zoo. And in red, anything past this line is future data that I'm predicting. In red we've got Formula One game. Now, unfortunately, one thing that I've really understood following my most up-to-date data treatment is in black here, there's quite a lot which can't be predicted using my model. It's either the Frontier Foundry income from their own publishing arm, or it's income they've derived from in-game sales. So, for example, for Elite Dangerous, you can buy paint jobs for your ship and all kinds of other in-game content, and Frontier derive an additional income for that, which I think is also in this unknown number. Plus, of course, they also sell game packs, particularly for the Jurassic World games and the Planet Zoo games. You can get extra bonus packs. So my main takeaways are that it's very encouraging that for all their game titles now, we've got good data that they do get residual income. The Formula One game, I think, is a great addition to their revenue stream. According to the player data, it looks like a hit. And what's great about it is because they re-release the game every year, that means you catch the initial maximum sales profile, and then you get basically perpetual maximum sales every year at minimal costs to Frontier Development, because the main thing that changes the cars and the drivers. The majority of the R&D is already built in setting up the game initially. So based on that, I do think they're going to be able to meet their analyst forecasts for the next few years. Fortunate that I then have to assume that this large area of unknown remains the same, based mainly on their game content sales and expansion pack sales. Of course, coming in financial 2024, there's going to be the Warhammer game, and I've not added that here. I am expecting that to be something like a Jurassic World Evolution initial launch. And if you can see what that did to revenues, there could actually be Frontier could actually exceed current analyst estimates if you accept this risk here that I'm not able to model. Now, a quick recap on their finances. Although we're expecting their revenues to meet the revised estimates, the great disappointment really for the 2022 results that are coming out soon are the fact that they're only going to have a net income of 1 million. Now, they amortized 7 million for Elite Dangerous, so you can say they've normally got a net income of about 8 million. That still is really rather quite disappointing, and you have to bear that into account. When I look at their market cap versus their actual value, and then realize that they're only going to make 8 million this year, when in the previous 2 years it was more like 17 million. Really, I think they are still quite badly overvalued when you consider their market cap profile. So I'm actually quite happy keeping my status of Frontier Developments as it is. I've got a stop loss here, which is the 25% of my original position I still have left at the same price that I bought them at. And really, mainly in light of their low profitability and fact of how overpriced they look, really in context of that, with a price to earnings of 530 at the moment. I'm actually quite happy to sell them if they breach that stop loss. The breakdown of their revenues is extremely opaque in their annual reports, which is why I had to go to all these lengths. If the next couple of years, this opaque income here, which stems from in-game content and expansion pack sales, if that endures the next year, so I feel I can trust it more. The residual income from all of their games is very encouraging and does support then the idea of future revenue growth when you consider what can happen when the Games Workshop game happens. So then if we look way back to around January, February, March 2024 time, around there could be a very interesting buying opportunity, if not perhaps a little bit before. So I'll definitely keep them on my watch list, even if I have to sell them here. With the Age of Sigmar game, they can continue this trend that you see with their revenues that's very impressive. But David Braben has just stepped down as CEO. We want to see a improvement in the efficiency of the company, with their net income sharply increasing and a widening of the gap between income and expenditure. Because before that happens, I can only see the market cap obeying the laws of physics and falling down to earth. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a quick stock analysis update for Frontier Developments. Good luck with whatever you're doing and play safe. Please read the disclaimer and remember that prices can go down as well as up.